Our third vitamin C is compromise. Compromise. 1 Corinthians 13:5. Love does not demand its own way. And that's a mark of genuine love. It's unselfish. You don't demand it. It's not my way or the highway, or you're going to do what I want you to do. Having been a pastor a lot of years, I've kind of noticed there's this rhythm I see in couples getting married. Have you ever noticed when you go to a wedding, the bride comes down the aisle, and down here's the altar, and there's him? And I wonder how many brides are thinking, I'll alter him. I'll alter him. I'll change him once we get married. What you need to know is every marriage has conflict. No matter who you are, no matter how nice you are, no matter how much you love each other, no matter how well you listen to each other, you are going to have conflict, and it's intentional. It's intentional. You don't use two forks to eat a meal. You use a fork and a knife. I remember just this past Friday night when we watched Fireproof, the main character of the movie was struggling in his marriage, and one of his dear friends took a salt and pepper shaker and said they don't look alike, they don't taste alike. And then he glued them together and he said, but they go together. We who are different go together. Because the greater your differences in a marriage, the greater your potential for spiritual growth and spiritual greatness. God can use this relationship to help you to grow. But there's a few things I made a list of that I know we need to compromise on, and let me give you a few of them. Number one is the kind of vacations you take. Why is it one member of the family seems to like to do 82 cities in 10 days, and the other one wants to sit on the beach for 10 days? How do you compromise? How are you going to raise your children? Some spoil, some are overbearing. How do we compromise? On the way we spend our money. Why is it God has such a sense of humor, he puts a saver and a spender together, and they struggle? Or how often you're going to make love, and when is the best time to make love? Some of you are morning people. When you get up, your hormones are rushing. Others of you are night people, and you don't believe in God till 11 a.m. But at 1 in the morning, you're going strong. And when it comes to sex, you're leaning over going, honey, why don't we just drop everything? And she goes, drop dead. You got to figure out how to compromise. Got to compromise on in-laws and how you're going to do that. Compromise on how you spend your day off. It's not your day off. It's together your day. More marriages die from inflexibility than alcoholism, abuse, or adultery. People are unwilling to change. So evaluate yourself here. If you say, I'm stubborn and I need my way, give yourself a -5. Okay? If you say we don't talk about the issues and we don't agree, give yourself a 1. If you say we keep going until we reach a compromise, give yourself a 4. And if you go the second mile, both of you, give yourself a 5. All right. The fourth C, courtship. The fourth vitamin C for you is courtship. Romance, physical affection, sex, fun, playfulness, just enjoying each other. God intended for relationships to be this. Proverbs 5:19. Let your mate's affection fill you at all times with delight. At all times. You know, if there was more courting in marriages, there would be less marriages in court. If we would make sure we had a date together. And folks, I need to let you in on a little secret, especially the ladies. Men are very achievement-oriented. They are goal-oriented. And often their goal is to marry you. And so they woo you, romance you, do all kinds of things that they would never do. Flowers and candy and even opera. But the moment you're married, their mind changes. Not consciously, but subconsciously. And they're thinking, mission accomplished. And they need another goal. And almost always the next goal is, how do I provide for my family? And we start working even more. All of a sudden the wife goes, what happened? He's not my knight in shining armor anymore. Instead of candy and kisses, I now get burps and gas. What happened? And he thinks that's how he showed her that he loved her. But we don't think alike. And you got to have romance in your marriage. A man went to a psychiatrist with his wife because he was very concerned about her. And the psychiatrist said, well, let her come in first, and I'll talk to her and then bring you in. So spent about 20, 30 minutes with her, and then brought the husband in and says to the husband, you know, the problem with your wife is she is just starved for affection. She needs affection like this. And he goes over and he hugs the wife and gives her a big kiss on the lips and says, that's what she needs. The husband pauses for a minute, thinks, and says, well, I can only get her here on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Other days she's on her own. Part of the problem with romance is we see each other on the worst part of the day, when we're getting up, rushed, stressed, trying to get to work, or at night when there's nothing left. So the most important person in your life gets the leftovers, and that's not fair. Ecclesiastes 9:9 says, enjoy life with your mate whom you love. And in Hebrew, that literally means your wife. But some people say, we've got nothing in common. How can we enjoy each other? Of course you don't. What do you think attracted you to the other person? Before marriages, opposites attract. After marriage, opposites attack. You have to learn to accept the differences in each other. Learn that God can use them. And you must intentionally find things that both of you like to do and enjoy doing. So evaluate yourself. If this is non-existent and you're too busy for fun and romance, give yourself a 1. If you still write notes to each other out of love, give yourself a 4. And you schedule a weekly date from the children or the work or whatever, give yourself a 5.